Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing my first league guide in a very long time and we're going to be talking about Argentina. Now of course Argentina has produced some of the best talent of all time. You've got Lionel Messi who played for Newell's Old Boys as a young child, you had Diego Maradona who came through until a teenager in Argentina, and I'm sure in the future we'll get some more players on that kind of level coming through from this league. So it's a very interesting league to have a look at. The ability of the players, of course, is one of the main reasons to watch and pay attention to the league, but really the crowds and the atmosphere are another big draw to this division. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. As always, we're going to look at the squads. I'll recommend some of the teams you can use, some of the players you can sign. I'll go through what the squad rules are if you want to play this realistically and only use real rules. And I'll just generally try and give you a good guide on how you can play it realistically in a fun way in the Argentinian Premier Division. So let's get started. To help you get an understanding into the background of the ability that can be found in this league, Argentina was actually ranked as the 4th best league in the entire world back in 2015 by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics. So Argentina was only behind La Liga in Spain when Barcelona and Real Madrid were dominating, Serie A, who was still getting points from Inter Milan and AC Milan's domination at the latter half of the previous decade, and the Bundesliga, who saw Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich making it to a couple of Champions League finals in a row. So this league was better than the French league, the English league, any other league in South America, and any other league in the world that I haven't just mentioned. It wasn't quite ranked as highly this year. It's made its way into 9th position, but that's actually really good for a non-European team because they do get less points for continental competitions. You've probably heard of quite a few of the teams in this league: River Plate, Boca Juniors, Racing Club, Vélez Sarsfield, Independiente. They've all had big names coming through their academy, whether it's Agüero, Tevez, Messi, as I mentioned before, or even a less known player now that was really hyped when they came through the academy, like Maxi Romero, who now plays for PSV. They all came through from these big teams. One of the best things about watching the Argentinian Premier Division is how even the clubs are. The best two clubs, River Plate and Boca Juniors, are slightly ahead of the rest, where their overall rating is on average a 76, but the worst team in the league is only rated at 67, and that goes all the way up to 3rd, where the 3rd best team is 74. So you can see it won't take too long to get one of these worst teams challenging in continental football. You just have to make your players go up by 7 or so points on average, which is fairly easy to do in only 1 or 2 transfer windows. If you want to make an impact on continental football straight away, you'll have to pick one of Boca or River Plate, because they're the best setup to do so. River Plate have some big names from European football. You might remember Enzo Perez being pretty good on one of the old FIFA Ultimate teams. Gonzalo Montiel is a really good right back, and Franco Armani is good in goal, as well as playing for the national team. So if you're going to pick River Plate, you're going to make sure you're building your team around these 3 players. Boca Juniors' philosophy is slightly different. They've gone for bigger names and older players, so you probably know Carlos Tevez, you'll know Mauro Zarate probably, you might know Andrada in goal or Fabra at left back. They're all pretty big names, especially on FIFA, where you've probably used them on Ultimate Team, and that's why I think you should give one of these 2 teams a go if you're going to play in this league. Of course, if you prefer to do a Road to Glory, there's a ton of other teams in this league as well. Some of the smaller teams in the league actually have better talent, so for example, Pedro de la Vega, who plays for Lanús, is the highest potential player in the league with an 86 overall, so he's going to be sort of world-class level. If you can manage to keep him in Argentina, which is going to be very hard, you're going to have an absolute star on your hands. The same for Alan Velasco, who plays for Independiente, a really good agile striker. He's only 17 years old and again has 86 potential. Lanús also have Lautaro Morales in goal, 85 potential. Agustin Urzi at Banfield, 85 potential. Enzo Fernandez at Defensa y Justicia is another really good player, although he's only on loan. So no matter who you pick in this league, you're going to have at least one player who's going to have 80 something potential. Every single team in the league has this, and that's going to be the player that you're going to want to try and nurture and keep in Argentina, and hopefully settle with a long contract to keep the European vultures away. If you're trying to play the game realistically, how many players can you have in your squad? What kind of foreign rules are there? Well, it's pretty easy in the Argentinian Liga Profesional de Football. There's only 6 foreign players allowed in your squad, and you're only allowed to play 5 in a single match day. So that means one of your foreign players can't be in the squad at all every single week, but every single youth player is eligible to play for any match, so you don't have to register youth players, and the maximum squad size is a ridiculous 99 players. So the only real limit is FIFA's squad size in the game, which I think is about 52 now, so you're going to be fine no matter who you buy. You're just going to make sure you only have 6 non-Argentinian or Argentinian related players. In real life, the top 12 all qualify for South American continental football. So you've got 12th to 7 who all play through the Copa Total Sudamericana, then the Libertadores for the top 6. You go in at various different stages, so some of you will go in at the second qualifying round, and the top 5 all go through to the group stage automatically, which means if you finish in the top 5, you've instantly got at least 6 matches in continental football against pretty interesting teams. Especially with EA having the licensing, it's a pretty cool experience to be playing in one of these teams. Thankfully, the Argentinian league recently has reformed. So before 2013, they had 2 different seasons every season. They had a first phase and a closing phase. So really you could win half of the league and then someone else wins the other half, but then you both get the trophy. However, now it works more like a traditional league where you just play 38 matches, the winner's the person that finishes first after all the matches, and you get relegated if you're in the bottom zone. Whereas before, you could get relegated halfway through the season and then have to play half a season in the second division and then be able to play the next season in the first division. It's very confusing. So you could be relegated halfway through one season and then be promoted straight away. So you'd be relegated, but then also start the season after, back in the division you started in. I don't really understand it. Hopefully that explanation worked. I know it's very confusing. I'm confused just reading it. Some players to look out for include Silvio Romero at Independiente, Ivo Mamini at Gimnasia, Nicolas Cordero at Huracán, 2 of the 3 previously mentioned goalkeepers in Andrada Armani, and then also Cambeses at River Plate, and of course De La Vega, the high potential young player who plays for Lanús. Definitely recommend you scout all of these players if you're playing in this league, no matter who you are playing as. Of course, it won't be realistic to get Armani off Boca Juniors if you're playing as one of the worst teams in the league like a Huracán, but you're going to have an opportunity to sign them as you progress through the league. Maybe if you get continental football and Boca Juniors miss out because of the competitive nature of the league, then you can swoop in and sign your Tevez and Zarate. That's the kind of thing you've got to be thinking of when you're playing as one of the worst teams in the league. So to sum up this entire league guide, I recommend you try a save as either River Plate, Boca Juniors, Racing, Independiente, Newell's Old Boys, try and get Messi back, Huracán at the bottom if you want a road to glory, or Club Atlético Lanús in mid-table, who have a lot, and I mean a lot, of very high potential players. I haven't seen an academy as good as this, unless you're looking at someone like an Ajax. That's the sort of level they're at, Ajax, Barcelona, that level. If you haven't thought about using this league and you've listened to this entire guide and now you've changed your mind, please do let me know in the comments, because I do like to hear that I have convinced people to try new things, because I think that's very important when you're playing FIFA to avoid getting bored. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon, which will probably be another team or league guide. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you later. Cheers.